It's worth 300.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I do, sir.
I'm doing well. How about you?
David Saylor, I'll shake hands with you again. It's
Mr.
been a long
Saylor.
while.
It's been a little bit,
Yeah.
since maybe last month, or?
No, it's been a couple of months when they swore you in, I was here.
Oh, okay, okay. I knew you'd been here once. I
Yeah,
just couldn't
yeah.
remember which meeting. How are you, sir? Good.
Morning.
Well, good morning. How are you?
How are you?
I'm sorry.
Doing okay?
Do it very well.
Stand out some? Oh, no, I doubt that.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
I doubt that.
You already dropped it.
Oh, really?
If I sit down.
Did you buy anything of that?
Oh.
Shoot, if you have to think that hard, I know you did.
No, because I had certain things in mind to buy.
All you had to do was be the top bidder.
Trust me, I tried.
No wonder I came out in the hole.
Do you guys want the store closed? Yeah. I guess. Go ahead. Huh? Oh. If you like. How do I turn it off? Huh? I'm not very technological.
Just put it on here, record.
You want me to? How do I do that? Down or not?
On right now.
So all I gotta do is hit record.
This here, that one.
So all I gotta do is hit that button. All right.
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, call the meeting to order.
Mr. Sim?
Here.
Ms. Mears?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Here.
Ms. Bacon? I am present. Stand for the pledge.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've came here for the resignation of Mr. Charles Adams.
This, I make a motion that we accept Charles Adams' resignation as of 10/19/18.
Before we accept that, could a couple of us maybe ask some questions?
No.
Really? It's not a public meeting?
No. It's not open for discussion. We got a motion on the floor.
That's it.
Ms. Mears,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Sim.
Yes. Okay, we're at this point in time going to enter into executive session for employment issues. I make a motion.
Why can't we get a reason for the resignation?
What could we ask the chief?
This is not an executive session.
He's still the chief.
What's that?
It's not an executive session, you have to defer.
I
that.
said I made a
You just
motion to
said
go
you
into
made a motion.
executive
The people
session.
can speak.
I made a motion to go into executive session
I second.
for employment issues.
Mr. Sim.
Yes.
Ms. Mears.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
In my office.
Yes.
You want me to attend?
No.
I guess we could ask questions now, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
In general conversation's sake, why might you be?
Well, one, I thought you were a breath of fresh air, and they don't speak for me.
I did too.
I did too.
I did too.
I said it, me too.
Your ideas were good, you had fresh starts, everything was good, and it seems to me,
We're getting rid of the wrong guy, guys.
yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the problem's right in front.
I've never been to a public meeting, and I've been to many of them where you can't ask questions in a meeting.
Yeah.
This is the
This
pattern,
town,
this is
if
the
we
pattern
don't-
that's gone on ever since I've been coming to the meetings, and it's been 3 years, I've come just about every meeting for 3 years, and it's the same pattern, time and time again.
One thing about it, we better make some changes at the polls soon, or this township's gonna fall.
Well, there's things that's been worked on, I agree with you.
We've had 3 resignations. Prior to this, we had the zoning officer, the former police chief, and a trustee who just was fed up with everything she could take. I witnessed it, there's recordings of it, and this is nothing new, and it's nothing that's not on recordings.
Well, anyway, Chief, we wish it was otherwise. I think you've sensed that.
I guess I'd like to start by saying thank you for your support. I appreciate all the citizens I've met here. I took people at face value and tried to talk to them bluntly and directly about the shape Perry Township Police Department's in. I talked to a lot of people over the last few weeks about our inability to serve the public to the degree they wanted. And I answered those questions directly. Sometimes those answers weren't appreciated, but they're still the direct answer from my perspective. The only thing I can say right now is I've appreciated the time here. I have appreciated the opportunity to serve as your chief of police. And I think all of you and whoever watches this can draw their own conclusions about the problems at Perry Township, and that include our police department. And given certain events over the last 2 weeks, I don't feel I can be successful in bringing the police department up to the standard you should have. And because of that, talked about it with many people that are close to me, and I've decided to accept employment elsewhere and move on to what I think is going to be a good opportunity for myself and my family.
Well, I think it's our
And
loss.
that's what I think right now.
So if you wouldn't have resigned, would they have fired you, or is that what this is?
They accepted my resignation.
Awfully quick.
I know there's been a lot of speculation, and I have no idea. I proffered my resignation October 1st, and they convened a special meeting today, 2 days later, and it seems like they were anxious. As far as any of that, I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Can't.
Yeah.
You don't get an answer.
You can ask them, when they come out of executive session, you can ask them whatever you want to.
And I agree.
But I would suggest that you research before you go.
Yeah.
Talking about how, he's a loss, because there's a lot of times when I put in public records for his timesheets. And he states that he's here every single morning at 8 o'clock. I take my child to school in Brookville. He's not here. So when you're falsifying timesheets, and when you're more anxious to make sure that you take your comp hours rather than investing in our township and taking patrol instead of sitting behind a desk, you should get in a patrol car. If you want to help our township, if you are as anxious as you say to fix our broken township, then get in the car with the officers, do the patrols, get to know your residents, get to know your area. Sacrifice
He was
that
at my
comp
house
time.
a couple of times in the patrol car with
How do
the
you,
officer.
how do you respond to
in
that,
an
Chief? How do you
undercover
respond to those allegations?
Well, Charlie and I met a week and a half ago, maybe 2, and she was dissatisfied with my answers. That day, she immediately accused me of not working the hours I was supposed to work,
I
and
think
wanted to
it's-
know why
it's
they
on
weren't.
paper, it's factual.
You
Why couldn't
spoke,
they tell us that?
you spoke my turn, right?
Go ahead.
She wanted me to write down hours. I guess the bottom line is I'm a salary employee, and she wanted me to put hours on my
What's wrong
time
with me?
sheet that I don't get paid for. So I didn't see the point in putting them in. But I started writing them down after talking with Charlie, and I guess I've averaged 93 hours of pay period since I started in June, other than pre-planned vacations that I had before I took this job. And I'll stand by that record. I answered calls to services at some of your houses. I handled calls for service myself. And I even worked with Trustee Sim in rounding up livestock that escaped. And together, we solved a problem that hadn't been addressed or solved for several months. And I'll stand by my record. And I fully understand as chief of police, not everybody's gonna agree with the chief. The shame of it is out here, it seems like everybody takes sides instead of wanting to have a police service that they would be proud of. And situation's just such that it's time for me to go, and someone else can try to right this ship, I guess. So,
I would just like to say, I worked with him in Troy, and he was an excellent, excellent person to work with. He was always open. We never had to wonder if he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. He was just a good person.
So anyway, I don't have anything else to say other than wait on trustees to come back, and I'll learn what you all learn at the same time.
Welcome to the party, huh?
Welcome to the party.
Love walking here.
He's late, we need to cut his pay.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. You can send me a memo on that. I'll see if I can approve that.
I don't expect the vetting process for a new chief could take very long, if indeed we get a new chief.
I feel like you're not being very optimistic about your township.
Well, I understand what you're saying, I do, I don't know what happened, I'm not gonna say I do, but it seems like we're going through police chiefs.
I understand that. You will get not an argument out of me about that. I didn't have the issue with Reinhardt that, you know, a lot of people had. You'll not get, I want people to see both sides of what's going on, not just the one side. I'm not saying that you guys are completely wrong in your feelings. I'm not saying that you know, are seeing things the wrong way. I'm saying broaden your viewpoints. That's really all this is about.
Who in here had an issue with Reinhardt? I didn't have an issue. Did anybody in here have an issue with Reinhardt?
Doug did a great job.
I didn't have any issues. Did any of the police officers have an issue with Chief Reinhardt? I don't see anybody having issues with Chief Reinhardt.
Well, you said he's supposed to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
here. Salary employees don't work like that.
I understand that. I
You don't
totally
seem to
understand that. No, I do understand that, but when you're marking on your timesheet that you're here, if you're getting here at 9 o'clock, then mark that on there. There are residents who want to know when you're here and when you're not, when they can expect you and when they can't. They want to know what's going on.
You're saying
They don't
that-
want to say that you were here at 8 o'clock, well, we got a 911 call for this time, why didn't you respond? Well, because I wasn't here. Well, your timesheet says you were here. That for me is, that's about principle.
I don't understand
Miss,
that.
Miss,
Well, ma'am, I tell you, the guy,
Can-
he turned in his resignation, it was accepted, and as far as I'm concerned, it's done. I don't think you've got any complaint.
can I interject for a minute?
He's the one who brought it to me. I didn't start it.
Maybe there's a misunderstanding between Charlie and I, but I don't live in the township, and many times, in fact, most of the time, I start my day with a meeting away from here. Many of those meetings start at 7, 6:30 in the morning, because that's when other chiefs and other officials are available to meet. And, you know, a lot of the processes here weren't in place. And I had to meet people to get new sets of policies. I had to meet people to put property room functions in place. You know, a chief of police's responsibilities are varied, and it doesn't always keep them in the office. I've had, on one hand, people, including trustees, ask me when I'm gonna work patrol. On the other hand, I've had a citizen tell me, why aren't you in the office at 8 o'clock? Well, you can't answer two masters. Anybody that's done this job knows that. And I work my day the best I can, and you know, if I wasn't here at 8 o'clock, I apologize. Maybe you drove by at 7 that night and saw me here. But
That's the
you
way
know,
salary works.
we do the
pretty much
best I can.
24/7.
So,
This isn't your only reason for resignation, is it? The issue with hours and, I mean, 'cause I think a lot of people don't understand.
No, that is you know, it's an important question from a citizen, but that is, that wasn't in my thought process at all.
Okay.
I've worked for a lot of newspapers, and policemen are not always in the office, they're out on the road, they deal with other things, they're not gonna be at their desk, that's not their job.
Chief, you said you tendered your resignation on the first, Monday,
Yes.
and we were in here for all of 3.5 minutes, I think, before they decided to accept the resignation. That includes the pledge and everything else. They didn't even discuss it.
In fact, they refused to discuss it.
So
And it was an open meeting, it was not declared
That's what-
executive session.
that's what gets my attention, is that either they talked to you about this beforehand, or there's already some animosity or agreement, disagreement that you were leaving?
I can't go into details on that right now. I won't.
Will you go into more detail after your resignation is finalized, after your employment here is ended?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
I
You're a man of
I
honor.
don't see
You're a man of
how,
honor.
I don't see how the greater good would be served by that.
Well, the only thing is I think, we would like to protect our next one some kind of way. I don't know.
Look, you know, you guys, Perry Township, and I've told our officers this multiple times, and I don't think they believe me. But this place is a diamond in the rough. You have people out here that care. I mean, look around. I know, you know, a couple of you are going back and forth here, and you have positions, but wouldn't be here if they didn't care. Even the people that are asking me tough questions. And you have the potential to deliver a really excellent police service to your township. Your budget won't allow that right now. Anybody that's built the budget for any police department can tell you that. And at least it won't allow it to what I was mandated to do, which is put 2 officers on the road 24/7 every day of the year. Your budget won't take care of payroll for that. You know, whoever the next chief is has a chance to build a good police department because the resources are here as long as the citizens support it. But, you know, to stand here or sit here and say something bad out loud that everybody seems like they want to hear, that's not what I'm gonna do.
I make a motion that we go back into regular session.
Trustee Mears?
Yes.
Trustee Price?
Yes.
Trustee Sim?
Yes. I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Sim?
Yes.
Mears?
Yes.
Price?
Yes.
So we can't even ask the subject of the.
Guess you was sitting in here the whole time, didn't you ask?
We
You were
didn't
sitting in
answer.
here, what was you discussing? Didn't
We
talk
were
to you.
discussing employment,
Yes, all right, we were.
All right.
On the advice of our legal counsel, we were. Yes, sir.
employment of who?
Employment.
Of what?